or do you glaze the J's? Do you get paid by?
Do I glaze the J? Do I glaze the J's? Do I glaze the J's? I told you I love the J, hate the Z. I hate the Z, love the J, I glaze the J's. What are you talking about? So what do you mean? How would we shut it all down?
Yeah, so given that both sides have ancient doctrine that govern their moral ethical framework and stances, I think we should, shut those down and re-educate all of them.
What would we re-educate them with?
Hypnosis. With secularism and Western ideology.
Secularism and Western ideology. So what is Western ideological secularism?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say it's premised on the inherent value of every human, right? Which it seems to be the case that the Israelis and the Palestinians have a disregard to. Do you agree with that?
No.
No, not at all. The Israelis value human life. The Palestinians don't.
Okay, so
do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
No, I disagree with that.
What do you disagree with?
The Jays don't really have a regard for human life.
Really?
What do you mean? Of course they do.
Wait, I thought you loved the Jays, hate the Z's.
No, I hate both sides. I think they're both stupid.
You hate everybody?
I hate both of the religious sides, yeah.
Oh.
What religion are you?
That's irrelevant.
How old are you?
Answer the question. What religion are you?
Yeah, what religion are you?
Yeah, what block you from?
Let's just say
what block you from?
You're an atheist?
Let's say I hold to deistic philosophy. No, I said deistic philosophy.
Deistic?
You fuck with a deity.
So wait, if you accuse us,
like deity.
if you accusing us of glazing the J's, what do you glaze?
You glaze in the D.
I glaze like
you glaze
the founding fathers or something.
You glaze the founders?
You glaze in daddy. You glaze the father.
So you glazing the Freemasons?
I mean, yeah, Freemason.
Oh, this motherfucker, a Freemason glazer. He's a Freemason glazer.
No problem. Wait, is Israel a Jewish state?
What?
Yeah, Israel is a Jewish state. It's the only Jewish state in the world. It's a state where Jews are protected. In the laws of the government, it says you can't hate the J. You gotta glaze the J.
He's a glazer.
That we have to make it a secular country, not a
No.
state.
Why? Why do we have to do that?
Because there should be no such thing as a Jewish state or a Muslim state or a.
There's 50 Muslim states.
Why don't you wait? Are you
remove them?
I don't get it.
Yes, I am. I am jealous. Is that bad? Is jealousy bad? Is jealousy bad? Is jealousy bad? I'm jealous.
As a defeater.
What are you talking about? Are you retarded? Why does the Jew bring that up? You don't understand why the Jew brings that up? Well, allow me to explain. Because the Jews have been exterminated from many countries throughout the thousands of years of their exile from their homeland, Yisrael, and the Muslims have not been exterminated from lots of countries. The Muslims, in fact, have 50 countries of their own from which they will never be exterminated because they own the countries. So yes, the Jays are jealous of the Muslims because the Muslims have 50 countries and the Jews can't even have one. Why do you think that we should focus on erasing the one Jewish? Is he gone? Oh,
No, I put him in the audience because, I wanted to get your take on it and let him respond, after so nobody's talking over each other.
Anyway, I don't know why they would want to erase the one Jewish state to... if you have a problem with the religion, last sentence. Go ahead. If you have a problem with religious states, we should start by reducing the number of Muslim states because there are 50 of them. And then when there's one Muslim state and one Jewish state, we can erase the last ones, and then we'll go to 0.
Okay, go ahead. Respond, Dr. Al.
Yeah, so I agree with you that the Muslim states, should not exist. But you also should concede that the Jewish state should not exist. This is what I'm saying. You guys have, mental block.
Okay, Doctor, my friend Treshbeck, go ahead, respond. What do you think? Should a Jewish state exist?
Yeah, I think, obviously, that we should be able to have a Jewish state.
Right. Why not? There's, 50 other Muslim countries. Can't the Jews just have one little country? Seems fair. I mean, it's like a 1 to 100 ratio, right? So these people just don't make any sense to me. I don't understand. I mean, if they think that we should have this Western secular society completely everywhere and shut the whole thing down, I mean, these people aren't living in reality. They're trying to force a fake reality. It's not authentic. It's not organic. It's not natural. So take a look at my PTR and you will see the Arab leaders of the world, sending these Palestinians off in box trucks to resettlement camps. They're not concentration camps. They're resettlement camps, re-education camps to take the terrorist out of the Gazan. You can take the Gazan out of Gaza, but you can't take the terrorist out of the Gaza. Therefore, they have to go back to re-education camps. By the hundreds of thousands, they'll be re-educated. The terrorists, they'll be imprisoned, charged for violating the law. The women and children will be spared. But they're sending the first 500,000 back to Egypt. Back to Egypt! So welcome to Shabbat Liberty Yoga Now, where we're doing yoga, praying for peace in your life right now. We're doing your chakra realignment, bringing you back to the middle way of peace, of joy. Oh, Muhammad wants to come up. Come on up, Dr. Muhammad. Have you found the peace and joy yet in your heart? MS, any other peace seekers here?
Power rush, bull rush. Yes, I feel enlightened. I have a lot of joy. Thank you,
Enlightenment
Dr.
and joy now.
Thank you, Dr. Wisdom.
You're welcome, Dr. Muhammad. Dr. MS, anything you wanted to add to the room as we wind down this beautiful pre-Shabbos celebration? Enjoying the show? Because it's about to end. It's going to all end very soon.
So BB, what he said is that he wants resistance to respond with the same methods that the IED
Exactly. That's the only point.
Skinny, maybe that's how you know how to articulate yourself. This fucking inbred retard doesn't know how to speak, so right away he goes to terroristic threats, wishing that all the Jewish. About the Irish. The Irish came in though, and they did.
I know.
And they did cheap labor. That's the only reason why they were hated. Was they came in and they did cheap labor.
Yes.
I know. The actual workforce.
But you're never. The only chance there was to salvage that room, which I'm glad it wasn't salvaged because I had a lot of fun doing that, and I found some new content for myself that was really fire stuff. But I tried to say, let's not make this about race. Let's just leave race off the table. Because you were trying to make it, and then they tried to accuse me of making it about race. I haven't said a single goddamn thing.
That Marshall came on stage.
It was Nathan. It was Nathan feeling like, he's getting dicked down, feeling all kinds of stuff. Hey,
He said the N-word, and then the white man came up. He said the N-word.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever. It was great. It's been a great day, and I guess I went into Sig's room. I guess he's been doing it all day. Brad's sitting in there, and Brad didn't come off mic, of course, when I came in. And Ludwig came off mic though, because Brad told me that he's got a plane ticket. He's gonna come see you now. And I said, I said, so he's been talking about me, about how he's gonna come see me with random people that's not me. I was like, so now you're doing this, Brad. I was like, now you're threatening me when I'm not in the room? Like, this is where you're now at me left. He didn't even come off the mic. He's
Yeah, he knew it could get bad for him.
It's been a great 2 weeks, and again, I love that we got to come on and remind everyone. And what was this, maybe a year ago, that I went on my crusade
on trying to get you your $1,000 and remind people of this. And
It's been an ongoing affair. And
yes, but it's been a minute that we haven't done this, and I'm happy that we did it again.
It's been a minute. It's been a long minute since we had a clubhouse room where I really, truly stretched my spurred muscles and really just flexed and let it out. And it was. I wish my voice wasn't failing me. I don't know if you could hear it, but my voice was giving out. But man, I wanted to keep going. I was sweating. My voice was giving out. I was like, no.
I'm not gonna say anything crazy. I'm gonna say it now. I don't want to say it. Dumbass. All right, man. Go backwards. Hey, how about this? I'm a person in real life. If you have an issue,
It's a potential, baby mama. You leave them on it.
up next week looking for a fucking raise. Passed up for 7 days. Broke out.
Hey, I'm out this after. I can't do this. This nigga the police.
He never said that. Why do you keep repeating that?
That's what they do. That's what nobody's gonna face you, man. Nobody's gonna face you. Nobody's gonna face you. Just forget about that. Forget about it. Just let it be, man.
I don't mess around with cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin.
Right, that's Bitcoin maximalism. So you think that Bitcoin has some inherent properties that make it more valuable than any other asset?
And he ended up calling the police, and reporting a hate crime. Literally, I've been being 100% serious about this. I'm not even joking. And he brags about facing that guy, but he literally didn't. It all happened in front of us.
That's the lowest.
Just let it be, man. Just go off on each other. Stop with the threats and the meetups and all this. Just let it be. It's not worth it, man. So the best thing that you can do for this cause, man, is just to challenge them, challenge their facts or whatever you want to call it, their lies.
He's not educated. I don't want to argue with the guy anymore, but he's ignorant, and that's why he's starting to resort to talking about violence.
If you were the enemy of money,
How do you know? Let me ask you a question. Just because I'm on Clubhouse, how does that mean I'm broke?
Yeah, brother, that's
You're on the same app as me, so obviously me and you we both have enough time to get on this app. So I might be somebody that has
nobody knows.
all this goddamn money. Go get it.
Nobody, look at this guy. Look at this scumbag.
I overcame. Let me just say one thing, Skinny. I overcame too much for me to be broke, you dumbass piece of shit.
The truth is nobody knows anything about anybody, man. I can say I'm a fucking billionaire. Nobody knows shit about me.
I'm not saying I'm a billionaire. I'm not saying
I know, like, just in general. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Let it be. Just let it be, man. It does not matter.
You keep getting me angry, though. You guys,
It's okay. He's stealing you and you're laughing. You're falling for it, bro.
You have to a woman. Oh my God, I was you're that weak of a person that I can trigger you.
I'm telling you, you want to challenge them, challenge everything that they say, like literally. That's how you win it.
Challenge your pocketbook. Go challenge it to the
Look at this.
I just want everybody to know in this room. Face to face, me and this man, first off, he's less of a man to me. He's a Zionist. I will be arrested. I'll be arrested for hate crime. I swear to God.
Man, we literally don't know each other. We literally know nothing about each other. This is just. It's a waste of energy. It's just.
Oh, look,
like,
it's
okay,
Dr.
you know,
Edward,
just
the
let it be,
fucking
man.
fake-ass blind Italian.
Hey, don't act like you're fine, bitch. You see the location.
This is your room. This is your house, Dr. Edward.
If you want, pull up play if you want. You
Pull up, Dr. Edward. What are you going to do about it? You're blind. You can't see anything. I ain't going to shoot me, Dr. Edward. Pull up, Dr. Edward. Pull up.
Stop acting scared. See the location. Shut up. See the location. Stop acting scared. And you gotta
You triggered? That shows me you're a weak man.
You're
Weak. 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 Weak alert. Weak alert. Weak alert.
You're a very weak
Weak
young man.
alert.
You need help. Sorry, you got to go through life dealing with this shit.
And you're a coward.
People trigger you like that. That's
Triggered.
It's not
Triggered.
everyone. Hold on. It's not everyone.
Triggered.
Only Jews.
Triggered.
That's the only people that
Triggered alert. Triggered alert.
Let's do a clean slate. You came in the room, you came in all hot and heavy, and you started saying all white Jewish babies should be murdered.
Dr. Edward, is that you? Dr. Edward.
I did not say that. Here's the thing. If you're gonna accuse somebody, you gotta be fair. You can't. I wouldn't lie.
You said you like Jews, but you hate Zionists and they should all die.
I said, okay. Let me reiterate my point. I'll repeat exactly what I said. I said
You
due
know,
to the
you already said
circumstances.
it once, that was bad
No,
enough.
I'm repeating. No, because you're saying you're lying. You're lying. You're making.
Oh. Oh.
See, now you're lying. Now you're lying.
Liar.
No,
Liar.
Somebody
You heard what I said. I said due to the circumstances. I said due to the circumstances and them indiscriminately bombing Palestinian children. I have no sympathy. If the same happens to the Israeli children, that's what I said. Because you know why? They're rules to war.
You said
They're rules to
And you
war.
said there should be another Hitler. You also said that too.
Man, he just got me mad. I ain't gonna lie.
This is in Amir's house. This is your house, Dr. Edward.
You see the difference now is that we are talking peace and the slut wants to instigate things. You see, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. Just let it be, man. Just let it be. Where are you gonna go like with this? Where are you gonna go? What's the end of it? Just yell at each other for like fucking 1 hour and that's it? Just let it be, man. Just let it be.
Listen, I agree.
Challenge each other with facts, with information, with news. Challenge each other. Yes, I know that, but Teddy, I know that when you challenge them with this, they fail. They never pass this challenge, you know?
Every test you gave me, Skinny.
At some point,
Impossible.
Every test I've had.
Then justify the killings of 650 people since Tuesday.
The Palestinians should love their children more than they love death. That's the difference.
But you're okay with the bombing children? How is that different than what the Nazis are doing?
But listen, when you say Palestinians should love their children, listen. When you say, but listen, when you say Palestinians should love their children, or whatever you just said, you're justifying that, or sorry, you're blaming the families for the death of their children.
They finally kicked me. They finally kicked me. Now you can go in peace, Dr. Edward.
What room was that?
It was in your house.
What do you mean my house? It's not I don't have a house.
You don't have a house?
No.
I didn't think there was a whole lot going on up there. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, God. You didn't take your medication yet?
You're a blind man.
Back channel me the name of that room. When you
Back channel me? What do you think? I'm working for you?
Back channel me and then.
You think I work for you?
Fix this.
Like you work for me, people like you always work for me.
Oh, really?
Like an operations issue. There's usually, though, another manager between me and you.
Dave, I got an ICE contract for you.
What the heck? Nah, you don't. Getting too
I want to ask my question. Why they still talking? What the talkative person gonna do? Talk more. Damn, it don't take a whole lot to figure that shit out. So
Edward's not very happy with me.
I'm gonna say something. Cause he talking too much. Okay, you don't even fucking talk during the day. What we gonna do? Sit in silence until you wake the fuck up or get off your 15th job? Like it's so crazy to me when people don't some people are fucking chatty on a chatty ass app. It's weird as fuck.
What time was this?
It's all
Concrete, what was that? Did you get any of that? So basically,
He said last night.
well, what
No.
I'm sorry, good.
No.
What I gather is that Bonquisha, as the mod, understands that there should be like engagement and conversations. She understands that the person that's currently she understands. She understands
White
the
bitch, you can
person.
shut the fuck up. This is one of the many jokes you're not in on. You don't get to be in on it.
Chill.
Now fuck this bitch.
She
Yeah, man,
understands
it's
that.
concrete though.
Thank you. She understands that the person that's currently speaking is long-winded, and she understands that the natives are getting restless. So her solution isn't to give the talkative person a time limit or a notice, hey bro, you're gonna have to wrap it up, but to chastise those that are trying to engage. That's the proper solution. Bell Pepper Queen?
Bell Queen.
That's the person that is talking.
Bell Pepper Queen. Bell Pepper Queen.
You can shut the fuck up. You can shut the fuck up. You have no power, stupid white bitch. Anyway, let me ping get all the white.
Feel better soon too.
Get all the white.
Stop it. Yo, stop it. Let me get the water. This is Feedback Friday. Feedback Friday.
Okay, so
That's all it says.
as I stated before, he was speaking. His story was long anyway, and even if it was a short story, it was a long story. I told him. It's his story. Okay, so people asking for additional detail during the midst of the fucking long backstory, not helping.
With vitamin B3 complex.
I started a brief queue. Brenda, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with that lady. Or sir. Shut the fuck up, Nathan. Yeah, she wasn't helping that shit. Hag Up is in the chat talking about I'ma say something because he talking too long. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Why you niggas always, like, every fucking time somebody comes in here that is sort of chatty, it just goes this way. Like, what even is the point of trying to recruit people if it's just hostile territory? What is the point?
Wait, did you hear what I said though, Tyler?
I addressed it. If they would have shut the fuck up and let the queue commence, it would have been over sooner.
Alright, so let me ask you this question. Do you think that most participants like a queue or don't like a queue?
I don't care.
Alright, what's going on, you guys? Right there.
If you want a YouTuber with over
Is a
100,000.
good indicator about how your attitude doesn't lend to growth as you would desire, right? So, a person who is interested.
Actually, you know what I did? After 50 lemons, shut the fuck up, Concrete. Shut the fuck up, Concrete.
Concrete hasn't finished his point.
Come on, Charlie. It's Feedback
Get your
Friday.
nigga to shut the fuck up.
No, Charlie. You interrupted him. It's Feedback Friday.
Because fuck him! Because it's feedback every fucking day, Nathan!
Exactly
Every fucking day with this stupid nigga!
Shut up, Tally. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Get out of it,
Very quickly, what's his name? I
Terry opened up a new room right now. It's called Chillism equals lower IQ. Just thought it was funny. Terry, that's fucking admin. There's a room right now. It's called Chillism equals low IQ.
Well, you might want to go over there and check because he could be streaming us in there with the replays.
Jared or Jared who?
His new name right now is Terry or Terry Carr or something like that.
Tarot.
Oh, Tarot.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That's a fact.
I'm glad your service is fucked up. It's fucked up like you built. Bad built, bitch. All the fucking buildings you working on, you ain't gonna work on your figure, nigga?
Dr. Nathan! Hey, Dr. Nathan's in the house! You finally came around! Here you are! Oh, sorry to hear about your brain condition, Dr. Nathan, you fucking retard, low IQ, fucking psychopathic, autistic moron! How many years are you gonna run your stupid fucking clique of clowns? You're ruining people's lives with this shit, Nathan. You're ruining these poor people's fucking lives. And you're ruining your life, Dr. Nathan. You're ruining your life, you idiot. What are you doing? You're not even creating nothing. This room's not even on replay or recording and putting it on YouTube. You're fucking wasting your fucking time, you dumb motherfucker. You fucking idiot. Wasting your fucking time. Fucking moron. Fuck. Sorry, Dr. Nathan. Had to roast you sometime. Coming on in for the roast, are you? Welcome to your roast. Why don't you listen to your shit from a third-party perspective? I present to you low IQ dumb people. Here we go.
Certain mods, they tend to maintain their patience, but then when it's other people that particular mod doesn't like, all of a sudden that same mod is off the mic screaming and telling talking over them, trying to divert the conversation to more of a conversation that she wants to have rather than what the room wants to have. And it gets so annoying, people start to, point it out, and then she attacks the room or attacks a certain demographic or a certain racial group. And then when they attack back, she goes on this whole hiatus. I want to disappear. I want to go cry in my room. He never
shed a tear over you weird ass niggas.
He never said Tolly. He said a female.
It's
probably not lady, but we're not saying it's you.
That's right.
I'm supposed to ignore context.
It got to be she was familiar.
I'm not supposed to be able to draw conclusions.
Hold on. Okay. This is the courage of your convictions to name the person you're calling out. Otherwise, it's just conjecture. You can. No, she was Melissa.
Yeah.
See, look, even I said yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a robot. I'm just a nice
Dr. Wisdom is very powerful. Hey, you witnessed a murder yesterday and you didn't say nothing.
And she encouraged it.
Is my service?
Even though it's her club.
Oh yeah.
Is my service sturdy?
Yes, I love this. I love the fucking vibes. Let's be the drunk pill popping room where they get to just be the centerpieces and
Monica's warning them, don't say anything.
Let's just talk over them.
Okay, well then bring up a top.
I think that this bell pepper leadership is emblematic.
Bell pepper leadership.
Society, where on one
Bell
hand,
pepper leadership.
on the other hand, they're beating niggas to death and standing on their chests. And I just take it that some people just aren't fit for the job and shouldn't be in the job.
Well, perhaps if your chest wasn't as wide as a queen size fucking mattress, I wouldn't mistake it for a trampoline, bitch. And then I wouldn't jump up and down on it, bitch.
One second. So, people who are just not fit for society.
Dr. Monica wants to say something. Hi, Dr. Monica.
In perpetuity.
Like you say in Starbucks,
Be
bitch.
civilized.
Tally when he's talking.
Thank you. Until they learn how to be civilized.
Why I gotta shut up? No, that's what we do here. We just talk, while other people are talking. It's cool, right?
unfortunately, you have people in positions of quote-unquote power who have, you know, whatever this problem is, right? And it's like the worst part about it is stop crying about the degradation of the society when you are a humongous contributing factor. Why the fuck would we want to hear from a fucking crack dealing cocaine fucking user about how bad drugs are? We don't want to hear from you. You're a coke dealer, and you're on drugs, and you're addicted to it. So please, calm down.
Yeah, fuck you, fuck any tards that are supporting you. As I've stated many times, I do not give any fucks at all about the opinions of most of the people here.
Find some friends then, dummy.
Dr. Wisdom.
Need I remind you that the whole reason why Black Don't exist is because these niggas got so tired of your shit that they created a whole new club just so they wouldn't have to make you a leader. And yet you're still here. Oh my God, you're still here. Maybe you should get
Actually, they created the club. Hold on one second. Actually, they created the club waiting for you to come, you know, take over and inhabit it and make it your nest. You know what I'm saying? So, good job at making it your nest. The power is yours.
Time to play Smack.
What you talking about?
Dr. Monica, is there something you want to say, Dr. Monica?
Constantly crying about how bad the world is. It keeps fucking selling dope and crack. Like, what is wrong with you? Pick a side, dummy.
Pick a side, Dr. Monica.
Why can't we have new friends? Why can't we have more people come to the room?
I actually think that it's hazing process. And those people, of course, the room could be one of those rooms where we openly just, you know, express our emotional feelings, hand out flowers.
No, fuck that gay shit.
And you know, just talk about all of the sweet and kind things that we don't really believe like any other room does. Well, we pretend to be friends, and all we're doing is just trying to gather information about the next person so we could find some way to accuse them of, you know, being a neglectful parent or a pedophile or, you know, the same typical shit you see all across the internet, right? I think the room exists the way that it does to filter those weaklings out. And therefore, it's not supposed to just automatically be accepted by the world. It just doesn't happen like that. The truth is ugly. It's cold, it's fat, and it's always in your face. Like a fat, nasty black woman on the first or the 15th. But the fact
is, Concrete is single because he's gay. Can we make that a topic?
Can we talk about how we're gonna have a mod meeting so Shy and Mountain can come back on stage?
I appreciate it if I can finish my point, though. That'd be great.
Okay, go ahead, Ryan. Somebody else interrupted you. I just kind of, you know, did
it was a different.
Oh, she will Sunday.
Okay.
That hates to, ironically,
Sunday meeting.
Be disrespected. That ironically hates to be disrespected herself. That's the thing. And I don't mind. It's okay. I just want the person that's doing all of the disrespectful shit to just look inward at yourself first before you open that fucking nasty, unused dick sucker and say some stupid shit that comes out of your mouth sometimes. Really? Look at yourself for really what you're doing.
Okay, so I get to be disrespectful in return to people who are consistently disrespectful to me. It's fuck some of you niggas forever.
And fuck you niggas. Sometimes you gotta be like, fuck a nigga.
Tally, why didn't you get that role in Norbit?
Perhaps if my body resembled yours more closely, I would have. I'm not that much of an actress.
They said that it would be unbelievable. They had to go with Eddie Murphy instead of you.
you still look the way you do. So, I don't know why you're talking to me like this.
Alright, guys, y'all.
You ugly.
That y'all are being recorded by Edmund.
Do you all know that random people are listening to you make a fool of yourself on Clubhouse, whether it's being recorded or not? You are roasting yourself when you open your mouth, and when you speak on this app, you sound stupid, and everybody on this app is stupid. And so it doesn't matter if you're being recorded or not, because people are listening to you make a fool of yourself.
It sounds familiar, Congressman. It does.
Sounds like Brenda. No, that's not Brenda. Brenda's like a little bit.
Yeah, Monica.
Did you say Monica?
Look, because Monica and I go way back, Monica recognized my voice.
Monica, who is it?
Zach.
Zach Ruda, of course. It's your friend Trash Bag.
Zach makes woven baskets that are quite beautiful. There is your Instagram account still active?
Wow. Yeah, it's on there.
He uses invasive species to cut down their impact, and also makes functional, decorative household items.
Sounds like a
You're doing well, Zach.
That sounds like a gay nigga.
Lion, you can criticize him or you can admire his entrepreneurial spirit, because I thought that's what Lion Kings did.
No, I don't. No.
Nah, he a faggot nigga.
Yeah, it's not bad. Probably got purple hair too, don't you? Overweight. Got a worn out lazy boy chair.
Basically correct. Yeah, mostly true. Mostly true.
Got like food stains and shit all over it. You put a towel over it.
Definitely got that for sure.
Yeah, I figured that.
Imagine you have control over your world to some degree, and you continually degrade its quality.
Degrade, yeah, diminish would work as well. Degrade. You don't have to say degradate.
Degradate.
Not degradate.
Yeah, it works.
Just
prove that it doesn't work. Prove that it
Zach,
doesn't. Prove that it doesn't work.
Zach,
He just innovated a word. It's no big deal.
He innovated. He innovated.
Zach, remember we talked about a couple years ago being set and prepared to enter unfriendly spaces?
Yeah, no, I'm just respectfully, I'm just trying to help him.
Degradate is a less common. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it is. This is a friendly space. It just depends on the type of person who's willing to, either they can dish it out and also, take a few licks themselves. Pause. That's all.
To cause or to undergo degradation.
Degradate is not a word.
Look it up.
Degradate is not a word. I look up degradation.
Yeah, degradation.
Degradation is not degradation.
Yeah, but if you have degradation, it does actually imply that the root word would be degradation.
Yeah, it's a tax of degradation.
Yeah, I think degradation comes from the root.
It says non-native speakers.
Well, okay. How about this? There's a word. Do you agree that degrade?
You don't. Just because you're louder doesn't make you more correct.
What about degrade?
Degrade is a word, as I was saying. Degrade is the word.
Degradate.
Yeah, degradate is not a word. Just like innovate is a word, but innovatate is not a word.
At the risk of being shouted down for my ability to build a bridge, I think we're confusing a few words. I think we're getting denigrate and degrade.
Denigrate?
Denigrate?
Denigrate.
Degradate is the verb
We're talking about degradation.
Denegradate.
Go ahead,
Let's just ask him to tell us what word.
Impreccable. Don't be impreccable with your words now.
Concrete, which word did you get?
I said degradate. What's so crazy is that he found the word and he's still saying
found it.
No, we
explanation from them as why that order was defied. And they've not provided an explanation to his satisfaction. And the rhetoric that has been used both from the bench and from the bar has been not what one generally hears when attorneys and judges are interacting in a courtroom, in particular a federal courtroom. And the judge has made some strong statements that are understated, but if you listen to them carefully, he is really admonishing these attorneys. So this is the instant case that is causing all this consternation among the president and his representatives. But it's not just this case. They're making the argument in general that the courts don't have jurisdiction, basically, in these matters, clearly not the lower courts. Now, we know, by the way, that in all of the potentially extra legal or maybe legal pronouncements that the administration has been making, because they're really shaking things up, and that's what they promised to do. They believe it should just go straight to the Supreme Court. Should not be even heard by a district judge, should not be heard by an appellate panel, just circumvent the system as we know it, go straight to the Supreme Court. By the way, he's banking on the court upholding his position because it is a conservative court. I don't know whether the court will uphold his position on any of these matters. But generally speaking, the way it works is an order is issued or a decision is made by a lower court, and then the judge's decision and the manner in which that decision was made is what is appealed. In other words, did the judge err? The facts of the case are generally not prosecuted at the appellate level. And then you can attempt to appeal to the Supreme Court. And sometimes the arguments become much broader. They usually do, especially on matters of constitutionality before the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court, let's remember, doesn't have to take any case that's presented to it. So the final adjudication could very well be the appellate court. And I just want to throw this in. It doesn't really have anything to do with today's discussion in particular, but just for frame of reference. The appellate courts cover districts. Those districts encompass states. Sometimes, when it's on the appellate court level, a decision that is made by one appellate court may only apply to those states that court has jurisdiction over. The circuit that it has
State hates them,
jurisdiction
and is going to
over.
fucking
So,
destroy
in
them.
actual fact, one appeals court on a matter, in the case and the circumstances won't be identical, but a similar matter may rule one way, and that could affect you in Ohio, and another court could rule in the opposite direction on the same issue, and that could apply to California. So I just throw that out so that people have a kind of an understanding of how the system works. This is just a very rudimentary overview of how it works. So anyways, to get to the main issue that the president is discussing, there's a pretty good article posted today on MSNBC. And I'm going to read the top of it, and then I'm going to turn it over. A lot of people are on stage, and I'm happy about that.
President Donald Trump has railed in recent weeks against federal judges who have ruled against his administration, painting them as threats to the country and demanding that the Supreme Court halt all nationwide injunctions. In a post on Truth Social Thursday, Trump attacked the judges who have issued injunctions against his policies, calling them, quote, radical left judges and, quote, lunatics who, quote, want to assume the powers of the presidency without having to attain 80 million votes. And as the article points out, he won the election. This last election was 77 million, wasn't quite 80 million. And of course, federal judges are appointed to their positions, not elected. Continuing on the Truth Social post, and he writes this in all caps, stop nationwide injunctions now before it's too late. He added that, and then he called on the Chief Justice, John Roberts, to intervene. Quote, if Justice Roberts and the United States Supreme Court do not fix this toxic and unprecedented situation immediately, our country is in very serious trouble. Interjection by Gary. Of course, injunctions by lower courts that temporarily stop the government from carrying out a policy in order to maintain the status quo until the facts of the matter can be heard and the court can rule on that, and the parties have an opportunity to appeal that ruling, no matter which way it falls, is far from unprecedented, as the president suggests in this Truth Social posting. Gary's interjection ends. Continuing the article, on Friday morning, Trump again suggested in a Truth Social post that federal judges are attempting to, quote, assume the duties of the President of the United States, close quote. With more than 100 lawsuits against Trump's policies to date, the administration has claimed that judges are improperly using nationwide injunctions to impede the president's agenda and to override his executive powers. Speaking to reporters on Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt accused those judges of being, quote, partisan activists, close quote. Quote, they are trying to dictate policy from the President of the United States. They are trying to clearly slow walk this administration's agenda, and it's unacceptable. And then MSNBC notes in their writing here, to which I absolutely agree, nationwide injunctions have stymied both Republican and Democratic presidents in the past. Now, I don't recall Democratic presidents claiming that these are partisan hacks making decisions when they lose, but we know that this president is atypical in his manner of making his arguments. The president, the article notes, argues that his administration has faced more injunctions than any other in recent decades. So is that true? Well, yes, MSNBC says. According to the Harvard Law Review, Trump has faced 64 injunctions in his first term in office, far more than any president since 2001. That's not going back that far, but it seems that the basic argument that he is making is correct. They balance that by saying Trump has wielded executive power in ways that other presidents have not, and in his second term, he has aggressively sought to expand the boundaries of this office, which we all know. Okay, I don't have to continue reading this article for you to get the gist, and I think you knew this already anyway, of the president's argument that these judges are overstepping their boundaries because they're partisan hacks and they have to be stopped. Please, Supreme Court, order them to no longer issue injunctions that affect anything that I decree from the Oval Office.
On the face of it, this would be seemingly an attack on the co-equal branches of government, of course, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. But, hey, it's a legal maneuver for political gain. He has a right to make it, and he is. He has a right to make the statements that he is making because the First Amendment allows for it, and he is. And we, the users of the critical thinking forum group, have the right to analyze what is going on here and offer the support of the president's position or one's opposition to the president's position. And this is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to open it up to folks in the order in which I see them. And today this order begins with Scott.
Hey, Gary. Good to see everybody, of course, as always. This august collection of minds that come together weekly. I love it. Come together daily. I mean, Monday through Friday. I think. I have a couple sort of meta comments. Really, I mean that I think. Yeah, I'll just let them stand as they will. I think a couple things. This idea that we have this dynamic with the court's intention with the culture. Just because of the nature of our system, right? The nature of having appointed judges, right? So, I mean, on one level, we could say that, we had an instance like the Warren Court, which was clearly ahead of where the culture was, or more progressive. More progressive than the culture on a lot of issues, right? We have the Roberts Court, which had issues, for instance, overturning Roe, is in a different place than a broad consensus of the culture, right? So, I mean, this is the nature of the appointed judiciary, right, with lifetime appointments and things like this, that you just don't always have courts reflecting the popular will of the people, right? The courts sometimes are interpreting the Constitution in a way that doesn't go along with the popular will of the people, sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right. And that's just, I think, the nature of the beast, right? That's the nature of the judiciary in a system like ours, right? It's not always going to be just a barometer. And, that might be frustrating to Trump. It's frustrating, I think, to the left. When on something like Roe, it's frustrating, it's interesting to me that...
Or Citizens United is another great example where it
takes off the left. Right, exactly. Citizens United is another great example, right? And so it's very interesting that we have this term that proliferates all the time, activist judges, right? And it used to be a term that you used to hear the right use all the time for the left, right? When it was seen that the left was out of the mainstream. Now, the left used it on the right, like, it was thrown around during the overturning of Roe, right? The Dobbs decision. These are activist judges, right? That they're legislating from the bench. But this is not a new accusation, right? That the judiciary is overstepping its bounds, and this just happens. So, but I do want to say something. There's a quote that I came across maybe a month or so ago that I've reread multiple times and been thinking about a lot. It's from Woodrow Wilson. And he says, the English race, consequently, has long and successfully studied the art of curbing executive powers to the constant neglect of the art of perfecting executive methods. It has exercised itself much more in controlling than energizing government. It has been more concerned to render government just and moderate than to make it facile, well-ordered, and effective. Now, this is Wilson, right? Like a century ago. This tension between a sort of system that has checks and balances and mitigates against overreach versus a system that's energetic, that can move, that can get things done. I think there is a sort of disillusionment with democratic process, right? And I think, it's interesting that we've had two previous political orders. We've seen New Deal liberalism, and then that gave way to neoliberalism. Both, and the thing about political orders, right, is they include the opposition, right? So New Deal liberalism comes along, and Eisenhower doesn't oppose it; he goes with it, right? Same thing with neoliberalism, with deregulation and leading in the markets. Starts with Carter. Clinton governs a lot more like Reagan than he did like Roosevelt. So I wonder what the next order will be. A lot of political theorists are thinking that neoliberalism is eroding, and I think the next might be some sort of pragmatic authoritarianism, right? Where we're just like, man, just get things done. And I think Trump is leaning on that, right? I mean, Trump is banking on the fact that people who are weary of government ineffectiveness in the face of a feckless Congress, and I know that's not a partisan criticism. Congress always just looks to the executive to do everything. It often abdicates its responsibilities. So in light of that, I think that I think the safe bet is, hey, people are going to rally around the strong executive, right? And Trump has played this very well politically, right? Whether he wins or loses the cases, who do you want to be on the side of when you're taking the case to the people? Do you want to be the people that are for getting rid of murderous Venezuelans, the bad people, or the people that want to defend them? Do you want to be defending somebody with terrorist sentiments or saying they should be locked up? I mean, do you want these? So I think that Trump is playing a shrewd game here, and it's banking on public opinion and banking that the public sentiment will be with him, not on process. And I think, whatever you think about the role of the judiciary here, I think Trump is probably on safe grounds politically to bet that people are going to be sympathetic to the energetic executive just getting things done. Thanks, Dan.
As you were speaking, it occurred to me, because you point out that this tension between the executive branch and the judiciary is not new. And you point out correctly that sometimes when there's a liberal or a Democrat in office, the courts rule against them and they get frustrated that the courts are overstepping their bounds. And sometimes when a Republican is in office, the same occurs. And this is no different. Here's where I think the difference occurs, if I may suggest. Yesterday, and this is not an endorsement, it has nothing to do with what these astute individuals in our history said, whether one agrees with them or doesn't. But as you were quoting Wilson, here's what I thought. Yesterday, Steve quoted Jefferson and Madison, I think, right?
Correct.
And today, you quoted Wilson. And they made their points, and I'm talking about these historic figures. And listen to the words that they use to describe their positions. Whether you agree with them or not, it's like, wow, listen to these words. These words are etched, these words are notable, part of our history. These are words that Steve just felt were so powerful to make his point. You've got Wilson's words, powerful to make your point. This is something Marshall does all the time. He quotes these historic figures, and we sit and listen with a degree of awe, whether we agree with their position or not. These are well thought out and tremendously articulated positions that they were making. And now you have the guy who also, as you point out previously, other presidents have expressed frustration with the court or the courts, referring to them as lunatics. Maybe part of the problem that we're having today, and perhaps it is absolutely by design, Scott, is the form, not the substance. And very briefly, because we have a bunch of people on stage, I wondered what you thought about that observation.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is. You're right. I mean, I think Marshall is a fan of a book called Mortal Republic, which my friend Ed Watts has written, and about the decline of the Roman Republic. And Ed Watts makes this point quite articulately that the Republic didn't die because of violations of laws, but violations of norms.
As a Chicagoan, I think
norms hold together the Republic much more than laws do, right? And I think that's clearly Trump is involved. And the problem with norms is it's very difficult, right, to put toothpaste back in the tube, right? Once you break them, it's very tough to walk them back. So yeah, I think you're right there, guy. I mean, I hear your point. I think to some degree, this is form, it's at a level probably where the concern is excessive at a level with that sort of reform. So yeah, and people did vote for a disruptor, right? I mean,
Bring innovation.
this is people had a chance. I mean, it's interesting. The appeal that Kamala Harris made at the end, right, was very much, it was the anti-populist appeal, right? It was running around with Liz Cheney saying, really, do you want to undo everything we have in this precious republic? And people said, you're damn right we want to undo it. Screw you and Liz Cheney. And we want, and the Bushes and the Clintons, and we want a disruptor. And so to some degree, I don't know, if we deserve, we get the government we deserve, but that's who we elected.
Thank you, Scott. Marshall.
Scott, we do get the government we deserve and not the government we need. I also, Aaron is sitting down there, Your Honor, and so I'm going to have to make a point about quoting founders and government officials that he makes to me quite frequently, which is, Marshall, don't put them on pedestals. So while they're important, we shouldn't stick them on pedestals, is my point. I think that there is a significant piece to a system not adequately functioning and then chaos being introduced, and those scenarios in governance create this societal want for some sort of populist strong control, which makes trains run on time. I had a professor in college who used to say, if you want to quit government, get a dictator. Otherwise, you have what America has, which is slow, ineffectual, and doesn't work all the time. But I want to, as a Republican, insert this piece, which I feel makes some of this stuff worse. There's been in my party, among the most extreme folks, and even among some of the folks that I wouldn't consider the most extreme, this idea that government, not the idea that government should be smaller, which I tend to, as a Republican, agree that government should be smaller where you want to make it smaller, but to just not govern. So I'll give two examples. One is the example of DOGE and cutting federal spending. Right? So as Elon has advertised, he wants to take a chainsaw to it. My little brother worked on the science committee with Lamar Smith, a guy from Texas who's no longer in Congress. They worked on what's called the NASA NOAA reauthorization bill, which provides NASA and NOAA reauthorization to do what they need to do in the funds. They need to do those jobs. So he went through and looked for cost savings. He found that the government owned 2 G5 jets. Found you could own one G5 jet, lease another G5 jet, and then have money left over to get strong drones that you could send into the centers of storms, which is what these G5s do. They go into big storms and they track how they function. So he was able to do that, and he was able to take the meteorology model and partition it so that universities had access to it, so their science students and folks doing meteorology and things of that nature could mess around with it. And if any of the students had anything that made it more effective, it immediately got put into the algorithm, right? And so the first example is this, which is Musk talks about a chainsaw. My little brother went through and found cost-effective, cost savings by literally going through the law and going, hey, it makes more sense if we do this rather than that. So I think I use that as an example to point to competence when trying to save the government money. There is this other piece, which is, I'm 34, Under the Obama administration, the Republicans just said no a lot. Not no and, not no but, not yes and, not yes but, just no. And that, in my mind, has manifested in folks like Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, and Marjorie Taylor Greene refusing to do work at all. It makes its way into public discussions with CRs, where Rand Paul uses the email filibuster process to hold up any functioning. So what happens in the Senate, most of it operates off unanimous consent. Everybody's there, yeah, let's do it, great, they do it. Well, if there's an objection in a unanimous consent vote, you then have what's called bill read. You got on the floor, the Senate reads the bill, and Rand Paul objects. Rand Paul objects to anything that has any list-making ability at all. Basically, the United States government collecting any data whatsoever, Rand Paul is like, no, we're not doing that. So after the bill read and after he blocks it, you either have to have a filibuster and then invoke cloture, which is the way to break a filibuster, or you do what's called helicopter drops into omnibus spending bills, which gives us CRs. Those two examples are examples of what I call not governing, and part of